Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
You are once again welcome to PENDREAM TV, your number one source for the breaking political news, fearless analysis, and hottest debate shaping Ghana today. Today we bring you another revelation on opinion from a lawyer by name Kwame Adofo, who came out to state his opinion and how the fight of the CJ would end up with. Without much ado, I would like you to join me listening to what he said, and your comments are mostly welcome. Do drop it at the comment section below. Like and also share to other members to watch as well. Thank you.
Lawyer Kwame Adofo, a private legal practitioner. Counsel, me watching. Now, counsel, about here.
Unia hoye na ozwe.
Bezo mo boko pa. Counsel, when ye bedi mremu nkomo kakra. Na mremu nkomo a ye bedie no. Eni say, ye maami Tokonu, former Chief Justice. Eja Fofi Antoata no adware abamo. Say ye no a wonka ayifo ho biem, a George fo ho biem. Na yesi wasan aba court. Na pacho ye bentia.
Mini ama menchao. Kwame na menchao bushafo ne wafifo ne. Wadwumfo ne wotifo. Ne obi achi. Manya bia kan na menya bi kan no ni nyina so a odi aba court enyina ne se complaint ana omo meki en etiaro no na omo se yenyina di as chief justice na committee etie no na committee ni si yenyina di as chief justice na babie ni kwa omo recommendation no so eba a recommendation yenyi na di as chief justice as well as an ordinary justice of the Supreme Court. Inti warrant na president sign edi na di as chief justice as well as an ordinary justice of the Supreme Court law. Enye papa is null and void. The reason here all kasa say so person you need as ordinary Supreme Court judge. Procedure also following a different. And so person you need as a chief justice procedure is different. Now procedure here more fast no. Procedure you fast the as chief justice only. And you the same procedure as say Befaso, as ordinary judge of the Supreme Court. And the announcement is a president unity from both officer president and then officer court signal warrant no sign. Now term void. And the no.
Wadaruma Mamimre Article 128 of the 1902 Constitution. Now, had the near composition and mode of exercise of power of judiciary. Now, Mekanya Jebia Ebebuan Kumi was said the Supreme Court shall consist of the Chief Justice and not less than 9 other justices of the Supreme Court. 2. The Supreme Court shall be duly constituted for its work, not less than 5 Supreme Court judges, except as otherwise provided in Article 133. Now, before no, as a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a justice of the Supreme Court unless he has high moral character, proven integrity, and is of not less than 15 years standing. Now, Bibisa say, see you Chief Justice are distinct from say ordinary justice now.
Well, Sadama America, but me, I don't agree with that position. India America say, I don't agree with that position. They say, what kind article ya kind? I'm say 128 now kind.
128 here.
What kind requirement no? We a person of good character, fit and proper, and so on. In addition, you must have 15 years at least as a lawyer. So what I say? Which means once you have 15 years, you can be appointed straight to the Supreme Court as a Chief Justice.
Straight. Every woman from Court of Appeal, High Court, no
yes, you can be appointed straight as a Chief Justice. It is here.
Aye, Mamma Mawadie, Rollins time. Who's a Okofa, Yamame, Sofa, Wafua Kufana. Our appointee will be straight from Legon to the Supreme Court. It is the 4 years.
Na Kolendi. He appointed straight as ordinary lawyer, straight to the Supreme Court.
Wow.
Nipa bebree why appointed straight to the Supreme Court. And you know the nyanwa. And we and the curfew. I mean, people are appointed straight to the Court of Appeal. And you say once you meet those requirements, you know, that's over 15 years. Standing at the bar, you are a person of good higher moral conduct and so on. We can appoint you straight to the Supreme Court as a Chief Justice. And they say, you know, that position here, I better hui. So, I'm with my appointee, with my snowball, all the other judges. So, appointee will be straight from the bar to become a Chief Justice. The law allows you that. It is appointed straight, that's what the Chief Justice are. Automatically, we are part of the Supreme Court. Kwame,
me too, Pa.
it is a Saga as Chief Justice. The Saga from the Supreme Court as well.
Yeah, per even the 128 now, me. Meteor law.
Not visit your workers.
There me say and said ye yatron wo 128 you know.
Exactly. It me appoint you straight my Chief Justice here. Then what is stopping you being sacked straight as a Chief Justice? And therefore you are no longer a chief, what is it called? Supreme Court judge. And it made me feel say. But if you look at the Chief Justice application or challenging the warrant itself, to me, President Ignacio, and or challenging. So for technical grounds, with a technical knockout, also it means everything is a nullity.
But then I say. I'm saying the problem. No, me really adene kakra. The problem with the committee set up. Say, committee no. I'm saying, powers of a lower court be a. Any say, to me educate on a matter. A Chief Justice matter. And I'm okay.
You see, and I know, Kwame. Maybe to say, committee, you know, almost standards as to what amounts to stated misconduct. You see, but that may not be what amount to stated misconduct.
Today, lawyer Kwame Adofo is also saying another thing about the committee setup, which he said they don't have even the power of the courts to do what they are doing, which I know the committee or the Council of States performance is clearly stated by the Constitution. Well, listen to what he said about the committee and do drop your comments on that as well. Thank you.
Ana mi bebu sase. Sa committee no one one strength no one was strength of a high court and now strength of what? Strength of
they don't have a strength of anything.
Oh,
their decision can even be quashed by the high court. And it's just an ordinary committee who just make recommendations. So if the high court finds that their recommendation is devoid of any the high court can quash it.
And then it is a committee no any bibia wa mremwa. I beka say okay, committee when has the powers of a high court.
No.
Therefore, be adjudicating this matter. It's deemed to be say a high court decision. When you be asa,
there be. Now, even if this is where it's interesting. Even if they have the powers of high court, it doesn't make them a high court. People get confused. Say, electoral commission is equivalent to a court of appeal judge. That doesn't mean electoral commission is a high commission is a court of appeal judge.
My member example, be a teacher ni, and I'm a senior superintendent of in teaching. Sir, you can say, oh, can you oppose moi and can you say that doesn't make me a police officer.
Thank you. The same thing. We don't have electoral commissioner. Then we have had various people occupying electoral commission positions. Afrajan, for example. Yes, in the position is equivalent to what? A court of appeal judge. But he's not a trained lawyer. It doesn't make him a court of appeal judge. But it is only in relation to the remuneration, the pay, the salary, the conditions. And they are equivalent to the court of appeal judge. But the fact that you are equivalent doesn't mean you are. And people who are without legal qualifications are also able to occupy those positions. So what is it, Kwame? Hello?
The battle was super.
It's West, no. When they back to where? Committee, no. Even if they are equivalent to a high court, it will not make them a high court. Their decisions will so be subject to being quashed by a high court. Now, let's say committee in I recommend this in you because of what you did amount to stated misconduct.
Misbehavior. Stated misbehavior, no. Committee, no. One terms of reference, no. I can't remember.
Defined is not defined anywhere.
And if so, you can't put something on nothing.
Yes, it is stated misbehavior. No, material is what we refer to ordinary dictionary.
How?
I don't know why someone release it or report here.
And by so stated misbehavior, a bear maybe or choba. No hear the way I know OCD no track on Tomando do and Chief Justice in this who track on Tomaha when he made me say.
And now, sir, we will be Kosia or Gay home. Also, crashing here.
And what did you panatem?
Thank you. So that amounts to the misbehavior. You see, that's how fallacious the whole system is. Total grand scheme. And it's there has to be a defined meaning of stated misbehavior. If you do this,
but so what can say? What all to quino, then it's what they when A, B, C, D, and what do I call?
Now, how does that amount to stated misbehavior when all previous CJs have also enjoyed the same privileges? And in there, we revoke all their retirement packages retrospectively. What did they say?
Meet you, Pa, Council.
It's me who say, the Chief Justice is testing the technicality aspect. But the actual assembly, what is the meaning of stated misbehavior? Is it in the eyes of the committee or in the eyes of the law that existed? You see, you cannot be guilty of an offense which is not already stated as an offense. So for you to be charged and found guilty of an offense, that offense must have already been stated.
So what finance more, accounting more? Make sure 3,000. Make sure 3 no. And my 3 commas, comma. And a matro 00 another comma. Uba in a country prison a meaningless. It's undefined. And can we?
That's right. That's right.
And can be I said one some pointing. Now matro 3 my double inverted. Ever 3 no matro 000. Undefined and can be.
That's right. That's right. Kwame, we know I have a problem with committee no view. Eyes. In their eyes. This amounts to stated misbehavior. I have a problem with that. So if the committee is prejudiced already, they'll crucify you and me. Because almost any fruit of what amounts to stated misbehavior. Any baby judge. It is any funny but what who say you are finished. So what did they say?
Me too, pa.
That is the problem, and I think the honorable CJ should be going after them in their eyes. No? How can you say because in your eyes you see traveling with my daughter as certain misbehavior when there's no law saying that if I travel with my daughter it's a certain misbehavior? That is why they should be challenging it, because who want this no? We be in the better choir a misbehavior. Now no girlfriend to choir there. Are you okay? And you are using that to judge me because the whole view is different. Committee expensive. Look, Kwame.
Yeah, no.
The way we are brought up. Say will be from different regions. I mean, who thinks differently?
Yes, exactly.
Depending on where you were raised and how you were brought up. What did I say?
Me too, pa.
Okay? Me, and as a lawyer, Adofo could not understand why before we'll be grouping.
Nana, they okay, Krano. Article 1911 of the 1902 Constitution. 19 clause 11 was no person shall be convicted of a crime, a criminal offense, unless the offense is defined and the penalty for it is prescribed in the written law.
Thank you. On what basis? And as a committee, reach a conclusion said the mammy stated misbehavior. When you have traveled with your daughter and there's no such law pre-existing saying that if you travel with your daughter is an offense. Come on. This is the problem. And I'm an example. And Adofo could not even understand why a group of people will group in front of a shop. But I was able to explain to them, say, before no, yet me group ending come okay.
Yeah, call.
If the police need bad, move on we have not committed any offense. The fact that we are grouping is something unique to our community. But Adofo, because they don't do that thing, they were finding it difficult to understand. People 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But because I was able to put my community view into perspective to explain it to the white people.
Papa, you lay a deal with clear. And you define stated misbehavior as what and the penalties thereof.
Nowhere. No law. There's no law either in the criminal books, in the constitution, nowhere. So I hear say open resort to dictionary the definition. I didn't do that. I didn't release the report to you. I didn't go through.
And related to even common law,
there's no law anywhere. If you have some release the report to you, how did they get their definition of stated misbehavior? How? Definition bed, open your way. It is somewhere and because I believe the chief judge should challenge even the actual findings. No one that said material.
Mekaisa chachuchi kata ebra ye dina semwa ye kan say de be court no kwa na friends ekofashe court no fast track
court.
So there is nowhere in a status no constitution ma ya twerɛ baby say fast track court.
That's right. What challenge
me kaipa
or challenge it. That's the type misbehavior. I'm confessing. How not know? I'm hoping that the Chief Justice will challenge that. Is it the reason why I'm hoping she will do that? They say, or Tinabi, Abia, Menu, no so. Maybe Saba will be person with the because if it's not defined as a stated misbehavior, how can you then reach a conclusion? Say, my name is Batu Kwaya, a stated behavior. Now, my name is girlfriend to Kwaya, are you okay now?
Me so no kwa me kwa me ne me kwa koma you know wo mo hwe ho aye ho adwuma no wo maka asansen e de amame
wo mo kwa be katro say you are entitled to travel with ABC or D.
Winim say wo mo shase no wo mo de ba ko bi ko ese maame no agi sika bi ene wo say mpa cho me ko e kra me spendi say dia kan nam de bae Boba no so mo de saade no ba no tweye no san
aye the whole I say nipa ne kaso be yuwa wo meni gari grawa obeyu but that
he want to know the definition, the source of the definition of the stated misbehavior. But looking at the Constitution, it doesn't outline or stated the definition of misbehavior in it. So at this point, you have to measure the behavior with what the Constitution is saying, because you can't use taxpayers' money to pay for your child's travels allowance. Never. That one is wrong. I don't know what you think. You can also leave your comments at the comment section below. Thank you.
Doesn't make it correct in law. So we as legal researchers or chasers, we should be chasing for the right thing to be done. And that is, fine, show us where you got the definition for stated misbehavior. And from what I'm hearing, they got it from the dictionary. How? When the dictionary is not an offense.
Na me ba cho me ba even so konya no dictionary mu a etymologically ubetimi anya different dictionaries can different things.
True.
Because the origin of the word in term quote to etymologically no origin of that word no beginning no kwantisa
asabi no aka no
because makonya book of etymology aba define meaning whereby quarantine and quarantine a Latin word meaning 40.
That's right.
And then the aba my case quarantine where the ukosie.
Yes.
Enti se me ko fa book of etymology be define na enkomo na ekose
na Kwame unu say yeah science as an ebe law.
Yes science student.
Yeah, me engineering as an ebe law.
Hey.
Yeah, what terminologies be Kwame, your alpha, beta, and so on. Alpha is actually originally a Greek word.
Greek word.
Abba, say beginning in English word.
English word. I'm alpha and omega.
Aha. It is the one when you make us all rely on only the recent dictionary for interpretation, for explanation or definition. You end up getting it so wrong.
Oh.
What was wrong with the American? It's maybe say, but we have on reflection. There's something that I'm beginning to understand from Chief Justice's application of the Akwi. Application waka wo mu say ABC ne report no ne sankai.
Hey.
ABC ne the so-called
eti me kura no ade be na maya ye de ayi minim.
So maybe if she gets that report, she may then go after what they mean by stated misbehavior, which is the key, is the heart of everything.
Hey, baby, what about accounting more? You can reconciliation. Different from say, waba Yes, Abaya to Reconciliation Committee. The word, no, ebia contextually, no, ebia.
Yes, yes. And I wouldn't. Kwame the ma assembly hard in Kakran say. Even you people who are minimum accounting, so auditor, Babe auditor, almost exit conference of no ye.
Sure.
To tell you the woman for you to present your responses.
Sanity.
Now, Mami, it's a mature reporter. Why haven't you given her a copy of that report?
Say answer,
Yes.
One side, One side,
a bit in there. You haven't given.
Say written responses.
Yes. A bit in there. So-called committee, President Muhammad, almost report Imano. So how is he able to challenge it if it's wrong? And on what is the Jubilee House? So, what did they make?
Meet you, pa.
So the question is not about her application, the merit of it per se, because he doesn't have the actual report. That is why she's probably going along this warrant line. Now the Saga report now, she would then be able to make a decision. These people got it wrong. And I'm surprised that from 1st September and then saying 19th.
Ah, 19th.
Now in Saga copy of the report. Why? When it's no longer confidential. You've already come and spoken. Matilda say a lawyer for the petitions over the weekend. Give you a interview ma KSM. So why don't you release the report in fairness to the woman? Then we would see how you got the definition of stated misbehavior.
Now, Laurie, me did this say, and you may be a be a most no belong to the judiciary and officers of the court. No, me say, near maybe more belong to the judiciary and then we are officers of the court. No, why you hard do me kai mammy judge in a wood pencil and anas koye expose no na video bi aba na obi diska bi ato obi table so na nipa ne nkasa na obi na erua ne commentary ne de gina so ayi nkrofo adi mutena ho hwedi 146 ewo ho whereby a quasi judicial activity. That is Article 146 President Gina so no aye so nkrofo aye ka say obi exercise sa no as a president na empo onye legal officer ye here subsidiary legislation BCIB whatever LIB to regulate the action. To say there be a criminal code no ye wo procedure no e wo ho a regulate sack in criminal code no aden na motena wa chesa ama sa ne nyina ekoso even judge na wood peso wo bi di video bi ba ya na agina video no sa ampo waje aponchi ye nedi
Kwame
no
the president of the Ghana Bar Association
ay mami gati
pero why maybe they have an explanation for us. Maybe I am only a little fish trying to explain to you my understanding of the law.
Yeah.
But why are you surprised? Yes, sorry, one. Yeah, the two of I said, upon Chintopato. It is you, be up in man, yes, it is you, Boko, no Biakufi. This is a serious legal vacuum. It can happen again.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that it is not allowed to continue. Because, Chief Justice Robber, not to a man Gary Grawa, will be bar, what will be you,
Aye.
Because there's no such definition of stated misbehavior.
Do you answer or be a petition?
And now said to him, say, what baby, no Guinness back. No, be a actual letter, but say, oh, Madam Chief Justice, oh, good home thing. We are Guinness to accredit it. until we amount to stated misbehavior. No, they are going to the committee. No one appointed on one dominant level. I will limit all town. No one to the crew because the woman report. The buyer was with them near you. The report to Nana, the report the unity. It's the unity.
William Shakespeare, ni book Julius Caesar no. ABC wom conspirators na ba ko bi omu aye fe no Casca. Enti bra wom wo Julius Caesar sekan na meeting ne ba ye no. Ena wom pe conspirators na ko wom ko hia ba ko. No say I am not Casca the conspirator. I am Casca the poet. Wom say yeah, tear him up for his bad verses.
Maybe I want to know.
Oh.
Maybe I want to know. But if you say that stated misbehavior, no, that's a big problem.
Me ba just me ti brofo no ase a ade ne ya state ho.
Yes.
Ya twiro. Ah, e what penalties to be suffered if someone yes
black and white.
Yes.
Otherwise, it makes no sense for you to say stated misbehavior.
Aye.
Now we are saying you go for the dictionary meaning of stated misbehavior. How? How?
Washrooms in emienu ene wo ho. Yemfa e ma de mo ho, ne yemfa be ma de mo ho. Na makwakwa wura ba akumu a. Wo ba ya say, "Hey, wa wura ma de stated misbehavior." Na me bi sa o say ehin na boss say me ma de na hin na boss say ma de say David o banana say ohun say ade left in the be ma de.
I don't know what kind of in our legal terms ought to have known. He ought to have known. Hey, he ought to have known something that doesn't exist. Is that what you're saying?
We are say ignorance of the law is not excuse. But way it's no excuse. But way no, I'm running ho.
So how can you reasonably be expected to ought to have known? You see, that is what the terms we use now. Either you know or you ought to have known. That's the legal expressions we take. And as Saga said, ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's you ought to have known that you are not allowed to do this. You ought to have known that this is a stated misbehavior. Meanwhile, there's no such thing as stated misbehavior.
Matthias Yepa.
It is application of it's because he doesn't have a copy of the report at this stage. He also doesn't have a copy of the so-called prima facie case. You people say you made against him. President made against him. So how is he supposed to challenge the decision? He can only challenge it by getting a copy. And that's what she has stated in her affidavit. So she doesn't have a copy, even to date. So she can only come after the warrant. Which is purely technical in nature. And I'm going to say, that's why my position is, once you can be appointed straight to become a chief justice, you can be dismissed straight from as being a chief justice.
But sadly, a brain is it not ripe enough? Say, Mobasa chief justice because me say, you will be a lecturer at the university, where a lawyer, and now when you lecturer, where a lawyer. Now on true judgment in Puda. Obi okra no fi kra na won tan kokko to kra no ne ade ade anti when you practicing lawyer na yes e betimi appointing straight to chief justice make old Elizabethan English was it whither are we drifting?
Yes, the law allows that. Yes. And you go why when you are academic and you go there, you have to rapidly learn the procedure, courtroom practice and so on. But in terms of the knowledge there, you may have it. But practice and procedure, no, just always quickly.
No, quickly, do I say?
I have no idea. And even Kwame, it comes with experience working in practitioners, no. See any academics, teachers, in our classroom, they are usually in trouble. Because traditionally, they are shoes soon now to see no so no proper hunting. You know all the loopholes. Ya bro, or be a 1 year unfair mono. Or pet. Or by following to the name I show 10, 20 years ago. No, what is the best at that's a fact.
I
Because
see.
on your practitioner. But as
Hello. Me ba try no kra ami ti o pa.
But the law allows academics to be appointed.
Oh wow.
And some of them are brilliant. Professor Atebase, he was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Wow.
And Professor, but if you want to say, definitely, call retirement. Also, professor.
Yeah.
Very excellent thinker.
Oh, okay.
And in terms of my media, these are some report also. Exactly, they would so would do but to acquire a certain behavior.
Yeah, me American say o man ye running adversarial system. Eti ebire bi kura na se kata nanimu. Me busa me ho question say me na anase ni me anya. Na me ba court ni say me pa cho ni pa na me ni nya no o wei. Mo say na ni pa me ensan ba be gina ho. Ah, adanu me sa do me kan say judicial concept pa. Ni pa na me ni nya no wei.
We are okay. Trials, one of the trials, is it question to somebody?
Question to you.
Court ruling say, okay, in chambers, you can reveal your face to the person. No? Baba courtroom, Elamoa Akatawani. Anas declined to testify. So, what are they? So, but, I mean, in terms of my media, I think we have to release the report.
But in the vein of even Commonwealth law, Australia, UK, Ghana, whatever you're practicing, where and not me adversary no, meaning a yasam. Court allow me say, Obaka to him. Now, judge no great dear some crowd, so be in him. Allow these things to happen.
I am president. Who be in the history of this world. Meaning, say, you can be given opportunity to see or have the hearing in camera, just to protect the person. But never a situation here. Never. Never. But what they could do is say, you can take you to a room. Only a Corbedia dance, I didn't mean
Obia send him to be Musase. Now, Ghana had a maybe as the Supreme Court relied on the black dictionary.
The old canon. You see, the courts do refer to meanings in a legislation.
Okay.
Ever said there's a legislation and it says, for example, Biamau, off the top of my feet. I'm thinking for my feet. There is a legislation and there's a word and there's a meaning that we are looking for. With the already existing law in the form of a legislation and you have the meaning of the word. So what is the mechanism? Then the court can refer to the meaning of.
Because there is a legislation.
Yes.
There is a provision in our constitution. Contextually, in the context of law, no, you have a dictionary, near compare the actual.
Yes. Yes. But not where there is no such law.
Okay.
So this is the difference. The don't refer to black law. Me, I was using the Macquarie dictionary. But black law, English law, if you are in Ghana, we do refer to the black law dictionary. But it's within the context of where there is an existing legislation. Whether you have committed an offense per the law. per the existing legislation. Then you refer to the dictionary meaning of it. I'll get some of the words. But where there's no such law, making what you have done a criminal offense, how then do you go for a dictionary to come and explain to you something that doesn't exist? So if there was, for example, law of you I stated the meaning of stated misbehavior, and in one of them it says womanizing. If you are found womanizing, it amounts to stated misbehavior. Thank you. And then I'll say, okay, what is the meaning of womanizing? Then I'll go and grab the dictionary for the meaning of womanizing. That's what I say. Because there's already an existing law. And you are seeking to understand what that law means. So within the existing law, any man found womanizing can be found guilty for stated misbehavior. Then Kwame will say, womanizing doesn't mean I have one woman. Womanizing doesn't mean I have a wife and I have girlfriend. This is what I say, no. What is the meaning of womanizing? Then we go and look for the meaning of womanizing. To come and explain the existing law. Now we have a stated misbehavior. In the context of what? There's no law.
Can be for history of common law. Sir, you say around 1066 or thereabout. One more buy yen, one more be say, okay, and near my way, one casa de buomo emra. And the young crucial kratem. Na yem for men say, the female will win when we are yet to a mara.
Yes,
yeah, one young to and no, we are yet to be new because I'm not be anywhere. Ye debate yet ya war akase empa ubusua o penalties ana woto so sika obetua ana oba akodam mfie sei eniwo.
Correct. It is ano. How then do you go for dictionary to come and explain something that doesn't exist as amounting to stated misbehavior? Kwame is also the American.
Betiasie.
And this is a example. No. If it's already there, black and white say the following are stated misbehavior, fine. And then within the list of the ones that they say stated misbehavior, no, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, no. Baku says if a chief justice is found womanizing, that constitutes a stated misbehavior. And then I would challenge it and say the meaning of womanizing is not what you people think it is. Then we go to the dictionary, grab the dictionary, and then see the definition of womanizing within the context. The definition of womanizing in the dictionary, and bring it within the context of existing law. But there's no existing law making any behavior misbehavior. How then do you go for the dictionary to come and explain something that doesn't exist? So that is my answer to the person who sent you the message.
Okay.
That you don't use dictionary to create an offense and commit somebody or convict somebody for it. You don't do that. You use dictionary to come and explain the existing law, which is now being contested. This person say this is the meaning of this, the other person say this is the meaning of it. Yes, okay, let's go and see the meaning of humanizing, for example. Then you bring it to come and situate it within the existing law. But when there's no such regulation explaining the meaning of stated misbehavior. And therefore, for you to resort to dictionary is wrong.
Lord, Mamma was an amazing pamphlet. The law is the law.
Always the law. When you are in doubt, always follow the law.
But could be American who say the verdict is the truth and the truth is the verdict. Say no kranwa ne de court no aka na nambo. Lord me da say. Lawyer Kwame Adofo, a private legal practitioner. ene ayene no atwetwe enkomo no na oba.
And there you have it. Lawyer Kwame Adofo has made his opinion clearly stated. And with my analysis, I think the Chief Justice is walking straight into a losing battle. But is this truly the end of the road, or could there still be a twist ahead? Stay locked on PENDREAM TV, where we bring you the hard truths, bold voice, and fearless political analysis you won't find anywhere else. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the conversation is getting started.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.